story but with Thunder Mother is that this had happened to the band 6 times. I think we were the 6th time. So prior to this happening to me, it had happened to many girls before us. So I actually, let's say 6 months before I got fired, I had actually gotten to a place in myself where I was like, am I crazy? It's our debut album, The Gems. We started this band in January 2023. So we very quickly wrote the album, and we had a ton of inspiration because of things that had happened. So we were fueled by anger and redemption.
I love a good redemption story, man.
Good. Yeah, and we wrote and we recorded it in July last summer, and came out January 2024 this year, and the year is almost over. So it's about our story of leaving Thunder Mother and kind of rebuilding after. We were in the band, me and the drummer Emily were in Thunder Mother for 6 years, and that was like our heart and soul. We did everything to build up that brand and band. Yeah, it was a big heartbreak to have to leave it behind, but then we just started something new very quickly. That was such a good moment. The sun was shining, everything was perfect. And then this summer,
that's a bucket list festival for me.
Wacken?
Yeah, and ironically, my ex-wife is from Munich. I could have, hey, there it is, right?
Here we have it.
I could have done it many, many times, but, alas, we had to visit family rather than...
Yeah. I could really recommend it. People are so nice there, and it's just a good vibe. I've played several times.
And maybe what I'm guessing is that rock is definitely having this surge of female artists coming out like you've never seen before, so that's kind of cool.
That they deserve. I know Mona plays in a blues band, so they make an effort. They're called Ladies Got the Blues, so they only play songs by female blues musicians. And she usually mentions Big Mama Thornton as an example. So we wanted to make a song highlighting that, so people remember and be grateful for what we have, and then we need to keep going and keep working so it gets even better. And the fact that there's many more female musicians now, to me, it's amazing. And I think it's awesome that, all girls feel confident to take that space.
Well, it's almost like when you're the first to go through, and you're the first, female rock musicians to go through, they're fighting some of those struggles that they shouldn't have to struggle to fight to get in the industry. And they did some of the work before you enter. So that's what a great way to celebrate them through a song and show love and respect.
Welcome to the Apex Lifestyles Podcast. I'm your host, Bob G. DMD, and I'm here as always with my co-host,
Dennis V. How are you, Bob?
I'm doing fantastic, man. We had a crazy week this week, man.
Great week. We're halfway through December. Get ready for the holidays. It's coming soon. What are you doing for the holidays?
Well, the grind is on, my friend. I was just, I was at Gym Hub this past weekend and met some really cool people in there and getting the grind on. And I was actually there this morning doing leg day, and I'm feeling it now.
It's good. Keep moving. You got the big day coming in April.
April, big time. We got people actually signed up to fly in support of the whole endeavor. But with that, we have an incredible guest today.
This is huge. It's a real big day. We're so excited to have you today.
Yeah, so we have the lead singer of The Gems, formerly the lead singer of Thunder Mother, all the way over from Sweden. We have Guernica Mancini of The Gems. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Hi. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for joining us today. Great to have you.
I'm very happy to join you guys today.
Yeah, it's great that we were able to get this going. Our mutual friend who you actually work with, I'm going to name her Marilyn. She helped put this together. So thanks, Marilyn. And hopefully we'll see you in February. I'm not sure if that's going to happen, but yeah, that'll be cool, right?
Yeah. Well, she's going to come to, or where are you guys seeing each other in February?
She, we've been talking about going to see Nita. She's playing in Boston, so perhaps she's going to come out and see Nita in Boston.
Nice.
I think she's playing with Apocalyptica.
Oh, very cool. Very
in support of their tour. So
nice
on her solo. So with that, I got to tell you, on my rotation right now, on my Spotify playlist, we have the album Phoenix. You want to tell us about that album a little bit?
Absolutely. I have it right over my head on vinyl.
I see it.
It's our debut album, The Gems. We started this band in January 2023. So we very quickly wrote the album, and we had a ton of inspiration because of things that had happened. So we were fueled by anger and redemption.
I love a good redemption story, man.
Redemption's always good.
Yes, and we recorded it in July last summer, and came out January 2024 this year, and the year's almost over. So, it's about our story of leaving Thunder Mother and, kind of rebuilding after, we were in the band, me and the drummer Emily were in Thunder Mother for 6 years, and that was like our heart and soul. We did everything to build up that brand and band. Yeah, it was a big like heartbreak to have to leave it behind, but then we just started something new very quickly. We didn't waste any time, and if you listen to the album, you can kind of go through all the emotions that we went through, and it's a positive album, yet it was a great way for us to work through all the feelings that we had with that breakup.
Yeah, why don't you talk to us about what inspired you? I mean, tell us a little bit about what happened and what inspired you to start the jam. I mean, Thunder Mother was a very successful act, and why leave that and start something new? Why don't you tell the audience about that and go through that story?
Yeah, of course. So we had a lot of issues in the band for many, many years. And we or at least me and the girls had the last few years we had to compartmentalize is the word, like this is work and this, and just kind of shut ourselves down so we can just go through the motions and make sure that we put out a good product with Thunder Mother. And we were doing everything we could to make it seem for the public that we all felt really good and had a good work dynamic, because it sucks, but the stereotype is that women can't work together, which is not true. And just because there's one bad apple, it doesn't mean that women can't work together. So we definitely didn't want that to, it would seem like that. So we kept it very hidden, and then eventually after the US tour, we went on a big North American tour supporting Scorpions in the fall of 2022, which was huge. And it really felt that we were about to kind of break, as a band on a more major level. Yeah, a long story short, the guitar player who owns the band, we found out after everything, she decided to fire me, and obviously she didn't like me, and she was done. She didn't really want to work with me. I think I'm I'm a hard worker, I'm very ambitious, and I think that if we're just polar opposites, so it didn't work with our personalities at all.
So it's a personality conflict more than anything.
What? Sorry?
Sounds like a personality conflict for sure.
100%. But let me tell you, it will get juicier than this.
Okay.
No, but when
ready.
I got fired, the girls, the girls didn't want that, obviously. They have no problem with me. They love me, and we're actually really, really good friends. And the only reason that I put up being in Thunder Mother for so long is because me and Emily, the drummer, are actual best friends, and we were there for each other throughout everything. So when that happened, when she decided to just go rogue and fire me, they quit the band, and they took a leap of faith, and I'm forever grateful for them to have done that. And I mean, obviously they weren't feeling great in the band either, and it's only so much a person can take of abuse and stuff like that. So they would rather take a chance and start over with me and do something where they could also feel good about themselves and productive and appreciated and all these things. So we did that in January 2023. The story but with Thunder Mother is that this had happened to the band 6 times. I think we were the 6th time. So prior to this happening to me, it had happened to many girls before us. So I actually, like, let's say 6 months before I got fired, I had actually gotten to a place in myself where I was like, am I crazy? Am I losing it? Like, what's wrong? Like, am I really a bad person? And am I a narcissist? Like, I was like thinking all these crazy things about myself.
Well,
And
the fact that you asked yourself if you're a narcissist, that it kind of precludes you from being one.
no, I mean, yes,
You know
yeah,
what I mean?
exactly. But
Right?
when you're working with people that are, they make you feel like you
Well, yeah,
are the one with the problem.
yeah,
So
that's the gaslighting effect, right?
yeah, exactly. So I was looking at videos on YouTube on how to deal with this kind of thing because initially I didn't even know what gaslighting was. I had to learn that while working with this person. And so one of the tips was make sure, like, reassure your environment or whatever. Like, if you start thinking that you're crazy and all these things, then talk to people and ask, So I actually behind her back, contacted a former guitar player who told me, no, you're not crazy. Everything that you're going through, we went through the exact same thing. And it was really, nice to hear that because I really was starting to think that I was an awful human.
Sometimes when you're going through it and you feel like you're alone in the situation, so that
Yeah.
probably validated some of the feelings that you had.
Yeah, exactly. And it means the world to me. And actually, the beautiful thing there is that we're actually now friends with all the former Thunder Mothers. So I feel like we're like a group of survivors, taking care of each other and honestly, like, understanding each other and what we've been through. And this girl that I mentioned that I contacted, because we weren't allowed to talk to the former bandmates either, which is crazy.
That's a
But you
red
don't
flag
think
right
about
there,
it
right?
at the time.
Yeah, that's a huge red
She is
flag.
actually the one that designed our cover. And she made our band logo. So her name is Georgia Cartieri, and she's now a really good friend. And it was a horrible situation, but I feel like we're out on the good, I'm very happy now.
Well, usually one door opens and another door opens, and that works into your transition to the Gems. What was that transition like?
The transition
From going into the Gems.
I mean, initially it was really hard, but we were there for each other because, I mean, it's a trauma. You've been in something for 6 years around a person that's made you feel really shitty about yourself. It takes a long time. I don't think we're completely healed from it yet, but the fact that we were there for each other and we allowed each other to, you never really know what's going to trigger you. It can be the most random thing, like a coffee machine or whatever, but we really helped each other through it. And yeah, so I feel like if it wouldn't have been for the Gems, I would have probably been in a much darker place. Whereas now I'm actually really happy and I'm so grateful for everything. And I have really good people in my life. So I feel like the Gems has been just what we needed. You know what I mean?
Was there a point, and that's wonderful, was there a point where sometimes when you go through a traumatic experience where something like that happens, did you think you were going to be done with it? That you wouldn't be able to transition into something else? Was there any quit in the vocabulary at the time? Or you like, I'm gonna pick up, I'm gonna make something happen?
No, I never had that thought because I'm such a. I feel like I'm like a pit bull. Like, how they bite and they don't let go. Like, I decided like very early on that I wanted music to be my career. So
Yeah.
that's why I put up with so much abuse for so many years, because I just in my mind thought that, okay, this is the price I'm paying to get my dreams going, So that's fine. I just kind of like pushed my own emotions down because I really honestly thought that that was the price I had to pay. Now I don't believe that, obviously, but I'm very, I don't know. I lost my train of thought. Sorry.
Well,
My brain.
one of the things that we talk about, this is Apex Lifestyles, and that all of us in our life, we are reaching our apex, and it's in the music industry.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, along the way, in the perfect world, everything would just happen without any issues. But unfortunately, there's obstacles and there's people that might be around sometimes that challenge you a little bit as you're reaching your goals.
Yeah.
And this definitely tested your waters. But the great thing is you've been able to transition into the Gems, and you guys are killing it.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, it means everything to have them, because if it wasn't for the Gems, I think the transition would have been much harder. But me having that, friendship and that security in us three wanting to like conquer the world, it really, really helped. And I honestly, one thing that we talked about a lot, me and the girls, is the fact that look how much we accomplished in a situation where we weren't feeling good. How much can we then do if we're actually now feeling good about ourselves and
100%.
enjoying our time doing it? So now I feel like the sky's the limit, and I'm just very excited for the future.
That's fantastic. And what I love seeing, I've been following you guys and you personally on Instagram. You guys look like you were having fun in that last leg of the tour that you guys were all just did in Europe.
We did.
And you were putting up a lot of, not showtime, right? In the, putting a lot of the stuff that you guys were doing, behind the scenes, and it was really fun to see, and fun to see the camaraderie between, all the members. How is that translated into the fan base, and how the fans received this new iteration of you guys coming out as the Gems?
I think that our fans are wonderful. Like, I couldn't ask for better fans. And I don't know if this is just me being kind of like spiritual and like whatever, woohoo. But it does feel like the happiness that we have now, it comes out in the fans. Like, they're all very happy and grateful that we continue to do music, and you can feel it. So it's like a very happy place. So, yeah.
Provides the motivation to keep you going, huh?
Yes, definitely. I mean, the tour was really tough, and seeing happy people singing along to your songs that does everything for me. Like, it really.
The songs are like hit after hit, like just hook after hook after hook. I mean, it's great stuff. And
Thank you.
I'm really hoping you guys end up doing a U.S. Run. And if you do, Dennis and I are definitely going to be out there doing a road trip. And
you're getting guest list, guys.
Yeah, that's awesome too, right? But we definitely want to see you guys play live. I think you guys are kind of like my new little indulgence day to day, just listening. I was doing a leg day today in the gym, and I had you guys, your album Phoenix blasting in my ears. It was great.
That's awesome. What's the song that motivates you, or it's good for?
I think the whole album is great. And for me, it's just, it was awesome. The thing that sticks in my head is that song Queens. For some reason, it's got this catchy hook in it. And, why don't you tell I don't even know what the song's about. I can imagine, but, it has this catchy hook that just keeps coming, And the video is interesting because you got a bunch of little cameos from all sorts of different female artists. And maybe what I'm guessing is that rock is definitely having this surge of female artists coming out like you've never seen before. So that's kind of cool. Maybe we can talk a little bit about Mia. She's playing bass with you guys, I guess.
Yeah, I'm actually wearing her t-shirt today.
There you go. And
I love Mia.
And I don't know if there's going to be any sort of stuff in her future other than the Gems, but that'll be for her on another episode maybe to talk about.
I mean, she Crucified Barbara is back. So
yeah, that's what I'm saying, right?
That's
so huge. I didn't want to drop the dime on stuff that I shouldn't really drop the dime on, but yeah, you said it, so I guess we're okay.
They're back, and I'm excited. First of all, Mia is awesome. I love her. I have so much respect for her, and she's one of those, like, she's done so much cool stuff, and she's so humble and just amazing. So I'm very grateful, and she's definitely, I'm so happy that she just decided to pick up the bass and play for us, because that's not her normal instrument.
Right.
So that's amazing. But about Queens,
tell us about the creative process with that and what's behind all of that. And I think it's just a hook song. Like, it's just one of these hook songs that you would hear on the radio,
Yeah, thank you. Well, first of all, we felt that we wanted to pay tribute to women that have paved the way for us. And it doesn't matter if it's like in music or in life or, in any aspect of life. A lot of women have done a lot of things that I think, or at least that was a conversation that we were having in the studio while writing the song, about how there's certain, I don't know if it's a generational thing or there's just some people that are ignorant that just take things for granted, and they don't understand that actually people worked really hard to, have, what's it called in English?
Pave the way.
Yeah, but they're paving the way, but like in all different aspects of life, and they're just taking it for granted. And especially us as female musicians, and we're still to this day experiencing questionable things. We could just like imagine how horrible it must have been in the 70s, in the 80s, or I mean even earlier. and a lot of women that have been forgotten and not even, they're not getting the credit that they deserve. Like I know Mona plays in a blues band, so they make an effort. They're called Ladies Got the Blues, so they only play songs by female blues musicians. And she usually mentions Big Mama Thornton as an example. So we wanted to make a song highlighting that so people remember and be grateful for what we have. And then we need to keep going and keep working so it gets even better. And the fact that there's so many more female musicians now, to me, it's amazing. And I think it's awesome that, all girls have feel confident to take that space.
Well, it's almost like when you're the first to go through, and you're the first, female rock musicians to go through, they're fighting some of those struggles that they shouldn't have to struggle to fight to get in the industry. And they did some of the work before you enter. So that's what a great way to celebrate them through a song and show love and respect to them. Talk about the creative process that came into the album.
The creative process?
Yeah. What was that like?
We had a lot of inspiration due to the situation we went through. So we definitely used that as fuel, like the anger, the sadness, and everything. So, we had sessions with our producer where we wrote songs with him. And some of the songs we actually were from prior project. Like the song Running I had written for my solo project, which I had to put on ice basically because I'm really a band person and I love playing I'm a group, like I like group of activities. I'm not like a solo type of person. Even though I'm going to continue to release solo stuff, I love being part of a band. So I put that on ice and we took that song Running and we kind of reshaped it so it would fit what we felt was the gems. And yeah, there's the song Undiscovered Paths was one of the songs that we also brought back that Emily and Mona had worked with in a prior band that they had. And then we kind of like reshaped it so it would fit our story now. So yeah, every song is a little different. The only song that we actually wrote and finished in the studio was Queens. Everything else we had like prepared before.
What are some of, and you've dropped some names already, what are some of your biggest musical influences that that growing up you want to emulate?
On our album, what we've had in mind, like it's been Kiss, Queen, and Van Halen, and then you sprinkle in some Led Zeppelin, and I'm always like gonna add some Guns N' Roses flavor into it. I just love the rappy type of vocals. Or you can call it Skid Row or whatever, because I used to be a huge Sebastian Bach fan when I got into...
back now, right?
Yeah, I know. And he's actually sounding better than ever. So I'm kind of like...
great. Yeah.
I want to see him live.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, it's really cool. But so I guess that's the mixture of the gems. But personally, I'm actually a huge Prince fan. And growing up, I loved the Spice Girls. So I'm like all over the place. And we did mention the hip hop thing. And
yeah, I was going to say in the pre-chat before the episode, we found out that you're a closet Wu-Tang fan. Is that true?
Yeah.
So that's your segue, Dennis. Go ahead, man.
Is there a specific song or songs that you love with Wu-Tang?
I really like Old Dirty Bastard stuff, so I guess old stuff. I haven't really listened to new stuff.
Yeah.
So what's it called? 23 Chambers, that album, or?
Yep.
Yeah, like that's
Chambers,
that's a favorite album of mine.
So that's what when you learn. What was interesting, you learned when that album was made. Mm-hmm. It had a very, very small budget, and where there's the 9 members of Wu-Tang, they only had so many spots in a song, so they would have to battle each other to see who would get a spot in the song to rap, which is really, really cool.
Yeah, so
Capadonna came into the studio over the summer and had a really good interview with us and just basically taught us a little bit about each individual in the group, which leads to my next thing. We've seen in the history, we had Daryl McDaniel from Run DMC here I don't know if you remember the song Walk This Way they did with Aerosmith, which actually merged hip hop and rap for the first time.
Oh yeah, so good.
Do you foresee yourself doing a collaboration someday? And what is a collaboration you'd love to do?
Oh, that's such a good question.
I would love genres.
Yeah, cross genre. Yeah, for sure.
Cross genres. I would love to do a collab with any genre really, because I love music. So if it's a good artist, then that'd be really cool. But this might sound a little strange, but I've been really into Jelly Roll lately.
Oh, there you go. I think a lot of people are into Jelly Roll recently. Yeah, for sure.
And I think he's really cool, and he seems like such a nice person. Plus, I'm like a big fan of his wife too, and I think she's awesome. So it would be super cool to get to do something with him, and it could be like a rock country thing, maybe, with a little hip hop flair. That would be cool.
Very cool.
One of my former students is really moving his way through the music industry, Joyner Lucas. And Joyner Lucas did a song with Jelly Roll over the summer that really made some waves. So Jelly Roll, he's doing some damage. And as a matter of fact, I was in Nashville this summer with my wife, and we're on the road. And you know what? I'm actually messing up. I'm saying Jelly Roll, and it was Luke Combs.
It was Luke Combs. Yeah.
They were doing
He's
Luke
awesome
Combs
too. I wouldn't say no to that collab either.
No, they were doing the Luke Combs and Post Malone did a video and they did it right in front of us in Main Street in Nashville. But no, they're doing. But Jelly Roll and Post Malone are going on tour together.
So cool. I mean, either one of them would be amazing to to be at that level where you could even like get connections like that to do those things. I think that would be epic.
What I think's great is when you see, crossing the genres, is you see the creative juices flow and tapping into each other's expertise, which I'm sure you have to do as well when you're in the war room preparing your albums, because all of you in the band, you have your own expertise, your own experiences, your own talents. So
yeah,
it just sounds like a fun thing to do.
I mean, it's awesome, but it is like, for example, I'm musically very like open, and I like a lot of different genres, and I like new metal and all that kind of stuff. And that's usually where the girls like kind of like, hell no, that's never going to happen, because they really do not enjoy new metal stuff. So when we present ideas, it's really like a little like tug of war, but we get there and eventually it becomes something that's us and amazing. But I also wanted to mention that being with the history that we do have with Thunder Mother, I really, and obviously from interviews and stuff, you can never know, but I really want to work with people that seem to be nice people. And I think that's why I feel like Jelly Roll would be one of those. Like, he just really seems like a nice person. I would be very sad to hear if he was actually not a nice person.
Anytime you can weed out the negative vibes and energy in life, it definitely gives your life a much better balance.
Yeah.
Speaking of balance, we've talked a lot about music with you. What do you do when you're not doing music? Like, what is your happy zone or your happy place outside of your profession?
Eating? No.
Yeah, it's a pastime here too.
100%.
Yeah, no, but I am a foodie, definitely. But I listen a lot to podcasts, and I know this, I try to work out. So I'm really making an effort to get like a workout routine, but it goes in waves. And after the tour that we were on, it's been kind of tough, but I've been trying to go to the gym a few times a week as well. And I do like the cross trainer. I need to start doing weights and stuff because I feel like I'm all jiggly and I need to like get muscles, but working out needs to be part of that. But I like baking.
Oh, there you go.
I find it maybe making stuff that you can eat makes me happy, and I like watching TV shows and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's great.
It's important for life to have that balance so that you know, hey, when you have the highs and lows, there has to be balance somewhere along the way.
Yeah.
Talk about the average day of a gem.
The average day of the gems?
Yeah, average day in the life of a gem.
I mean, I would say on an average day, we're working. We have our, is it called LCC or whatever? We have our own company, so the Gems AB it's called. So we start on Mondays and we have a meeting and we go through everything that we need to get done. And it sounds so unsexy because being a musician and you're running your own business, and it's more business and admin stuff. Like, did you send in those receipts to the economy lady, whatever?
Yeah, the accountant.
So, yeah, it's just a lot of like admin stuff that we plan, and then, but I think we're really good at it and we try to see it as something fun and then just plan out the week, and whoever's going to do, like, every week, everyone has like a different task to take care of. But yeah, besides from that, we don't rehearse as much because we all live in different cities. But yeah, it's a lot of just planning for the future and future tour dates and figuring out budget and stuff. It sounds so not cool, but yeah.
What's in the
Singing
future for the
and performing is like such a small percentage of what we do.
well future? I'm glad you brought that up. What's in the future for the Gems?
The future, we just started pre-production for our second album, which is super exciting.
Nice.
Yeah, so actually before I came on the call, I was singing in some demo vocals for a song that we just wrote last Saturday. And so we were trying to set everything up so it's as prepared as possible for when we start recording. And Emily's we're gonna try to release our first single in March. So we need to record all that stuff. I actually recorded the vocals for the next single on Monday. So we're really working on the album right now, and then booking up shows. We have a few festivals coming up next year, and we're going to open for Hammerfall. I don't know if you know of them.
I do, yeah, for sure.
Okay, so it's a pretty big, I don't know what kind of metal they would be called, but it's a metal band.
It's a metal band, yeah. So, you know what's interesting? Why don't you describe the style of the Gems?
Yeah. The Gems is, I would say, classic rock. So it's very groovy, guitar-based music, obviously, with very catchy melodies. Because
Yeah,
I don't know if it's a
of hooks.
Swedish thing or what it is. That's something really important to us when we write songs, that it, have not 100% formula, but definitely have something that we feel could be played on radio, and, it's something that you would remember.
Yeah, I would actually just call you guys a straight up just rock and roll band.
Well, thank you. Yeah.
Yeah, I would just say you guys are like a rock and roll band with great melodies and a ton of hooks. So
Thank you.
I think I love it, actually. That's like right down the alley of the stuff that I listen to day to day. I mean, I listen to everything from Arch Enemy all the way to classic rock from the 70s, but all in that, and I all consider it, one of the same DNA, really,
Yeah, definitely.
Especially when you came out and you started talking about some of your influences. I mean, Kiss, Led Zeppelin. I actually heard yesterday Led Zeppelin there's like this big documentary or movie project that's being released in February, which I think the world would love to see.
Wow, that sounds cool, yeah.
Great group of musicians. What has been your most memorable moment so far in your career?
You stole my question, Dennis. That was my next one, Yeah.
It's a little sneaky today.
I have a few. Since you're two, can I give two answers?
Yeah, of course. Go for it.
Oh, I have a few actually, but I think going on the tour with Scorpions, that was huge because that was a bucket list thing for me to be playing in arenas and then also touring North America. So that whole tour was, epic.
Surreal, right?
The Scorpions were amazing, really nice. They took care of us. Yeah, I love the band, and that was a great experience. And then in the summer of 2022 with Thunder Mother, we played for I think 20,000 people at Wacken. I think
nice.
Louder stage. It was one of the big stages, and that was huge. That was oh my God, that was such a good moment. The sun was shining, everything was perfect. And then this summer,
that's a bucket list festival for me.
Wacken?
Yeah, and ironically, my ex-wife is from Munich. So, I could have, there it is, right?
Here we have it.
I could have done it many, many times, but, alas, we had to visit family rather than going.
I could really recommend it. People are so nice there, and it's just a good vibe. I've played several times, but the summer 2022, that's the most memorable. And now I'm dying to do it with the Gems and get all those nice moments back with in a good environment.
Yeah, for sure. That's awesome.
Yeah.
What's some advice that you could give to your younger self as you were preparing to get into the industry, as you look back on your triumphs, tribulations, in that, obviously there's going to be aspiring artists like you? What advice would you give them?
That's hard. I would say trust your gut, and also maybe I feel like FOMO messes with you a lot in the beginning. You know what I mean? Like
100%.
yeah. So I would say to just, and it's really hard for me because I'm very like ADHD. Like, you know, I want to do everything. So it's a tricky thing, but I'm getting like the last few years, I've been good at like, maybe I'll just need to count to 10 and be like, okay, don't answer that email so quickly or whatever. Like actually think about things. And if it's a good opportunity, it's not just going to disappear if it's actually a real thing and a good thing for you. And that's
100%.
wish that more people understood that you don't have to jump on everything, because if it's meant for you, it's going to be there for you.
And sometimes not every opportunity is a good opportunity, as you talked about before.
Especially as a female, you can put yourself in really horrible situations because of that. So, I mean, guys
Good
too
advice.
as well. I mean, that's for everyone, I guess.
Yeah, good advice for your younger self for sure.
Yeah, thank you.
So how can people follow along and follow the Gems, and where can they pick up the album? You know, and I actually, I want to be able to pick up an album, and hopefully a signed one by all of you guys. If you come out to the US, I need to get that done and put it up on our wall of fame up here, you know?
Absolutely.
And get some pictures done, right? But tell the listeners how they can follow you, how they can follow the Gems, and where to find you guys.
You can find, well, the best place to follow me, I would say, is on Instagram, because I'm the most active there. So it's just Guernica Mancini, my last name. Very easy. That's the same on every platform. I kept it very simple because I have a hard time remembering nicknames and stuff. So it's like Guernica Mancini, you can find me anywhere.
Yeah, it's perfect.
The Gems on Instagram, it's the Gems Music. And that's where you find that. But we have the gems.se, which is our website. And that's, you can find links easily to all the platforms if you want to buy the album, to our merch shop and all that stuff there. So the gems.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for that. You know, we have some merch is coming your way, actually.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah. So it's already been sent. I think it's been delivered. I'm not 100% sure, but yeah, it's coming your way.
Nice. Thank you so much. I'm excited.
Of course. And then, you know, I guess, Dennis, I mean, what else do you have to this has been an amazing interview. I mean, I'm so happy that I got an opportunity to talk to you, and I've been listening to you for months now, which is great. And you know, it's good to know that we have a mutual friend, and
yeah,
she's amazing too. And Dennis, what do you have to leave with this today?
Well, you know, what I really like is you know, sometimes it may take a lot of poking and prodding to get to, you know, what's lying down low and beneath and getting it to come out. And you were so transparent about things that have happened, and that, you know, some of the dark sides of the industry. And the big thing at the end of the day, when you tell people sometimes, you can't control what other people think, what they want to do. You only can control what's in front of you. And you took the bull by the horn. Things didn't work out, and you kept moving. And I love that you do not have the word quit in your vocabulary. When I asked you that question, you made it very clear. So I'm going to be following your trajectory as you keep going. And as Bob and I, we say at the conclusion of this,
it's go time.